all you do is you prepare as thoroughly as you can. The guys play their asses off.
Playoffs? What talk about? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We're talking about practice.
That you probably won't say it again.
I bet I do.
Okay.
Correct?
If you want to crown them, you crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can find me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. We brought the Super Bowl runner-up, Ted Talks Ball. Ted, how the hell are you doing?
Good, Dave. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Well, I'm bringing you on because the irony does not escape me that in 2018, we won the Kirk Cousins lottery and against the Jets. The Jets go and draft Sam Darnold at third overall in 2018 as a consolation prize. And then now, 6 years we spent talking about Kirk Cousins being traded to San Francisco. He doesn't go to San Francisco, but the irony is we get a quarterback from San Francisco named Sam Darnold, who in 2018 was the consolation prize for Kirk Cousins. Did I sum it up?
Sounds about right.
Okay, we're going to talk about Sam. Stick around. We're going to talk about Sam Darnold. But first of all, Ted, this is Skull Rants, and I was too young to remember lost Super Bowls. I know I was alive during two of them. One while I was born, apparently. No, it was born. I wasn't born yet on the second one. So I was born with the third and fourth one. They lost. I have no memory of it other than watching videos as I was growing up. So you've now experienced 1, 2, 3 lost Super Bowls in recent memory.
Yep. 2012, 2019, and 2024.
And you had how big of leads in all three of those?
Sorry?
And you had how big of leads in all three of those?
We had a 10-point lead in 2019 and a 10-point lead a lot earlier in the game here against the Chiefs in January, or I guess February, pardon me. Against the Ravens, we never led in 2012.
Oh, okay. I got that wrong then. So how have you recovered? Tell me about the experience of losing a game that it looks like you were the better team, in my opinion.
Yeah, most people feel like the 49ers were the best team in 2023. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's heartbreaking, but, Christian McCaffrey fumbled. Ray McLeod fumbled. Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles coming off, entering the field from the sideline. There were a lot of other injuries. My rant would be with the NFL for the practice conditions that we had to practice in. I think that led to why we had so many injuries in the game. And the Chiefs, to my knowledge, the only person who got hurt was Nick Allegretti, who got tore his UCL, which is kind of interesting because that's what happened to Nick Mullins and obviously Brock Purdy as well. Had these UCL tears. But, yeah, it's heartbreaking. Am I over it? Yeah, I'm over it. The sad thing is, so you were too young to remember the Vikings losses. I'm older. I must be older than you. I'm 53. So
I'm 3 years older than me.
Yeah. So I remember the Vikings losses.
Good head of hair, by the way. For 53.
Thanks.
I don't know. I'm a little bald.
Well, it sticks out, but there's.
Okay, there we go. We're about
going on. Yeah, it's not. It just
kept your color though.
The visor covers it nicely. But not too many grays. I got a little on the side.
You kept your color good. I am sandy all over the place.
A little salt and pepper on the sides, but that's about it so far. I got some young kids, so that'll probably change quickly. So where was I? I was just saying that, the sad truth is that I'm used to it. Kyle Shanahan is a Super Bowl choker until proven otherwise. I mean, granted, losing to Patrick Mahomes in overtime is not what you really call a choke. But he's not a Super Bowl winner until proven otherwise. When I was younger, I got to watch all 5 of our wins in the Super Bowls live. I went to all 5 parades. So I was used to winning every time we went. And now, until proven otherwise, I'm used to losing every time we go. And it's not that easy to go. Obviously, it's only our second time going under Kyle Shanahan. We lost in a couple NFC championships to the Rams and the Eagles in between. And so, at least we're getting, every time we go to the playoffs, we get to the NFC championship or the Super Bowl. I think that's this whole century. I think we've been to 7 or 8 NFC championship games and 3 Super Bowls. So it's good. It's just not getting it done.
Right. And we appreciate you beating the Packers in NFC championship games. We love that.
Yeah, and we beat them in the divisional round this year before we played the Lions in the NFC Championship. So we beat both your NFC North opponents this playoffs. And I think the NFC North is the class of the NFC until proven otherwise with the Lions and the Packers. I think they're going to be real good again this year. I have them both making the playoffs as of right now.
Now, I never asked you this before, but I never thought of it, but you and I were both pretty young when it happened, but old enough to remember 1987 in the it wasn't the NFC title game, but it was a game leading up to that. And I mean, we had Joe Montana benched. You brought in Steve Young. We just went on a tear in that playoffs and barely lose to the Redskins in the NFC title game. Do you remember that game? Were you as a kid? Yeah, were
Absolutely.
you heartbroken? Did we hurt you pretty bad?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all those losses hurt because I always felt like the 49ers were the best.
That was a good team.
From like 84 onward. Like 81, I felt like we were lucky to beat the Cowboys. And, the Bengals just weren't in the same class as the Cowboys or Bengals in 81. And then 84, it was like, our defense was still carrying us. We kind of snuffed out Dan Marino. And then all of a sudden we had Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Brent Jones and, Roger Craig and Rathman. And, and you guys beat that team. And so, yeah, any of those losses, 87, the fumble by Roger Craig in 91. They're all brutal.
I mean, we had Anthony Carter back then, and he was he set our team record for most yards in a game, and that was just recently passed up by Justin Jefferson. So it's been a long time since a guy had a game like that, which was he was just all over the field. And we had Wade Wilson, not Tommy Kramer, playing in that game. So Wade Wilson had a nice little run there in the playoffs. No, we're going to talk about Sam Darnold. Now, when he came with a Brock Purdy and Trey Lance quarterback room, and you were a Trey Lance guy.
Absolutely.
What were you expecting when Sam Darnold came? What were your thoughts of what was supposed to happen?
I mean, for me, I thought that there would be. Honestly, I thought after how Trey Lance looked in camp last year, I thought there should be a competition for QB1. Not handed to Trey Lance or anything like that, but there never was. Honestly, you could almost say there was no competition for QB2 because Trey Lance was better than Sam Darnold in camp as well. And so, I think pretty much as soon as he was signed, Kyle decided that Sam Darnold was going to be QB2 behind Brock Purdy.
Now, just so we're hearing it at home, you felt, and it doesn't sound like it was close to you, that Trey Lance, who was probably available to go get this year, was better than Sam Darnold, and he was given the job. Am I getting that right?
In camp. No, camp isn't. That's not
given, but
yeah. I mean, just Sam Darnold was just dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk.
Which he has a 6.5 yard average career compared to our Nick Mullins, who has an 8.0 average per attempt.
I mean, I'd rather have Sam Darnold than Nick Mullins, but not by a lot. Not by how much more you guys are paying him. I mean, right? What's Mullins making?
It's incentive laden, but Nick Mullins is $2 million.
Yeah, and Darnold is 10, right?
If he makes incentives, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not real impressed by Darnold. Everybody said, "Oh, he'll do better with Kyle and with all our weapons," and that stands to reason. But it didn't really stand up to statistically. I don't think his completion percentage was better or his passer rating than his career here.
His career is 59%.
Yeah, and to be fair, he wasn't like coming in, where he was really needed to do much besides not turn the ball over, except for the Rams game at the end of the year where he played the whole game and we lost. And, Jake Moody, our field goal kicker, had missed a kick and a PAT in that game. And I was like, it'd be really nice if Darnold could drive the ball down the field and give Moody a chance for a game-winning field goal going in the playoffs. They'll bolster that rookie confidence of a rookie kicker. And Darnold was driving, and all of a sudden he coughs up the ball. And
so he's the reason why your kicker missed that extra point.
No. He's the reason why our kicker didn't have a chance to redeem himself at the end of the game because Darnold coughed up the ball and handed it over to the Rams.
No, but you wanted to give him experience and confidence, and he had a missed extra point in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, to sort of help erase that, right? If you will.
So but
Darnold wouldn't let that.
Now, did he start 2 games for you guys?
No. He started one game.
I seen
him
play
in at least 5 or 6 games in garbage time of one form.
It showed him he had 10 games on your season, which is weird. I don't know. Was he holding?
Yeah, I think there were at least 5 or 6, 7 times where we were blowing teams out and he came in. And there was like 1 or 2 where it was the other direction. And we knew.
Who was it that you were playing where you guys had it pretty close to the goal line and he took a sack, just had plenty of time, and then took a sack rather than throwing it away? Then you had like a 5-yard penalty, and then now you're at the 17 and he throws a pick into quadruple coverage at the end zone.
I mean, I'm thinking it was the Rams, but I don't.
It seemed like it was a full game, so it must have been the Rams.
Yeah,
because I watched like every throw and I couldn't remember who it was.
Yeah, I think it was the Rams. That's the only full game he played all season.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we just didn't want to get Purdy injured in a meaningless game. We had already locked up the number 1 seed. The Rams sat a lot of their key players, and they even sat Puka once he set his rookie record. Then they sat him too.
Now, our coach just had a press conference and said that his tape of San Francisco showed he had worked on more high-level thinking. And that's what he said anyways. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Sam Darnold stuff. But you have seen him a little bit, obviously more than at least a lot more than I have probably. Where do you think he is? I thought he had issues with footwork. I thought he had a little decision. I thought he had a lot of hesitancy in decision making, and he would backpedal and try to muscle the ball rather than get his feet under him. Kirk Cousins uses his whole legs. Sometimes Sam Darnold's just throwing with his arm to me. Now, has he worked on that, or do you feel like he was better at that?
He had some nice throws in preseason. He during the regular season, like I said, it's hard to judge somebody coming in garbage time one way or the other. Either we were blowing a team out or they were blowing us out when we saw Sam Darnold. In the Rams game, he was all right. I don't know.
I seen that he was pretty good about good about getting the ball out, like on swing passes, and he was accurate. He led people. He wasn't throwing it behind people. I saw a lot of that. and I saw that he keeps his head down the field or his eyes up down the field. I see things like that. Let's, I feel like I'm being pretty negative about him, but what are some things that you saw about him that were positive to reassure us if Kwesi doesn't go up and get a guy in the draft?
He's going to.
Okay, so today, if you're listening to this,
Sam Darnold is not the plan.
All right, so if you're listening to this today, Kwesi had said that it's not a must to draft a quarterback. That we have flexibility with Sam Darnold. So, and that the coach says you're coming here to compete, get your have the right mindset. You're going to compete, things like that. With Kevin O'Connell. So it is creating leverage because I know Kwesi doesn't want to overpay to move up. So I'm asking you, give me some positive with Sam Darnold. If for some reason we are drafting 11 all the time and we for some reason can't trade up and we stick and pick and take Penix or Bo Nix, you may like him, you may not, but I think a lot of fans were hoping for one of those other four guys. What do you think about Sam Darnold's qualities that are admirable? Does he have any?
The silver lining of Sam Darnold as your quarterback in 2024 is you'll have a damn good draft pick in 2025.
The quote of the night. The silver lining is that we'll have a damn good draft pick in 2025. Let's go. All right, man. You're not leaving me with much optimism. I noticed that you picked the Packers and the Lions, and the NFC North is the best of the division. I noticed that the Vikings weren't in there, and the top two are the Bears. Where do you have us finishing if we have Sam Darnold or if we have one of those top four rookies starting for us this year?
Well, with Darnold, yeah, you're in big trouble. If it's a top four rookie, and I still think you probably want to start Darnold even if you get a top four rookie as a bridge quarterback. I mean, no rookie is going to come in and be better than him week one, I don't think. So ultimately, Darnold is a bridge for one of them. I guess it depends on defense. Obviously, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Addison, you got Hawkinson, you got Madison.
Madison's we let him go. We actually got Aaron Jones now.
That's right, from the Packers. And he's definitely getting a little bit up there, but as of last year, we had
problem with third down blocking from our third down pass protection from our running backs and
I said all last year I had him up there right there with kind of like CMC. And
I really liked Aaron Jones. He's 29 now, though, and he hasn't played 2 full seasons in a row.
That's the thing. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is in that conversation too. And then Chubb, if he can come back from that gruesome knee injury. But I think those are the big four of who can run and catch and kind of do it all, just explosive.
And that's what we wanted. I mean, information I was given by a guy that was I like when people say in the know, was that we were looking for a running back. And one was from Dallas, and the other one was Zach. What was his name from Indy? Zach Moss. Yeah, and both those guys signed somewhere else. So, yeah, you
guys have better weapons than we do, then, right?
So Aaron Jones, we got great freaking weapons.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson.
However, T.J. Hawkinson will be out to start the season. We don't know how long he'll be out. His surgery was delayed because of inflammation, so he got a late start on his surgery and stuff like that. So
how's the O-line looking for the Vikings?
So it was much better last year than it was the year before. We have a whole lot left guard right now. We have 2 bookend elite tackles.
Darisaw is insane. I know.
Yeah, Darisaw and Brian O'Neill, and they're both top 10 tackles in the league. Yeah. But Bradbury and Ed Ingram are shaky at times, but have played better. the past year. We've had issues, but we used to have a depth problem. Quisenberry and Brandel have been really good backups for us, and we re-signed them. So if we lose a guy, we don't feel like there's a huge drop off now. But
right.
we have an opportunity.
You have Brandel. We have Brendel.
Yeah, Brendel.
Yeah, Jake Brendel.
Yeah, we have Brandel. He's a 6'8" tackle that we switched to guard.
Wow.
Kind of crazy. But yeah, our line has been better, and that was one of the things with Kirk Cousins. We offered him apparently a 2-year contract, partially guaranteed in the 2-year. Atlanta just blew that out of the water with a freaking torpedo, with like 10 torpedoes, and gave him 4 years, $100 million guaranteed. Don't blame him for going, but we know that we are not in plan 1A right now. We're not in plan 1A. And how do you feel? What's your opinion on if we're moving up, not having leverage, if that's a factor in trying to trade up to 4 or 5 or whatever spot? Do you feel like they'll take advantage of a team like us where they know that they were not planning to just ride with Sam Darnold?
I think the value is the value. I don't think it matters. I think that's overblown. I think Kyle Shanahan does the same type of thing, like releasing injury reports the last possible second, all this stuff coaches do and GMs do.
Well, what do you think of this though? This is a scenario. Maybe maybe
you're gonna have to overpay either way, is what I think. So I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
cloak and dagger stuff, I don't believe makes much difference.
Well, when you're the Chargers and you are going to drop down to 11, and maybe you want a guy, but you don't want to really drop down to 11. I would rather just drop down to whatever team's ahead of us, 6, let's say, even 6. I just want to drop down to 6, get an extra pick from the Giants, and to let them get up to 5 instead of us. I mean, sure, they just don't want to drop down all the way to 11. I feel like we may have to overpay to do that. So you agree that we're going to overpay. We probably would have overpaid regardless, is what you're thinking? So. Okay, so we'd overpay regardless.
Even if you had a stud quarterback there, it's just the level of the pick. There's a formula for what those spots cost. And the good news is, well, I guess it's a long time between now and then. It depends on when you do it too, Dave. I mean, I know for a fact that when we moved up for Trey Lance, we paid extra through the nose because we did it way in advance. So Kyle could scout out all the quarterbacks openly without having to hide that he's looking at them. And so the further you do it before draft day, the more you overpay too. When you actually wait,
I don't think we do it before. I think we do draft day. But I think we're talking.
You're going to save yourself some draft capital that way.
I think we're talking. I think we're obviously been talking. There's a report that we were scouting out for with the Cardinals, and wow. I'm just like, Cardinals, really? I would think they want one of those top 3 receivers and don't want to drop too far to 11. But I know Kwesi is a guy that's going to go and talk to people and feel it out way beforehand. He's got contingencies upon contingencies, he says. So my issue I have is that he's hesitant if it's not a good deal. Like if it's not a good deal and he thinks he's overpaying, by principle, he's not wanting to overpay. And that's why I think might scare a lot of fans out there that, hey, he may not want to overpay and get that guy, and we're going to be playing Sam Darnold for the next, and we're going to have to extend him into year 2, hoping we can draft a quarterback next year now.
Nah, it's cloak and dagger, smoke and mirrors.
You don't think Kwesi doesn't want to overpay?
No, not that. The part about we're fine with Sam Darnold. We saw.
Well, I know that part. I mean, yeah. I'm telling people, all this is telling me is that we're in plan C or D, and that he's trying to create leverage. That, but you're saying it probably doesn't really matter, is what you're saying. It doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. Unless Tom Brady's coming out of retirement, you guys are drafting a QB, and you're going to pay whatever the cost is.
So basically, according to Ted here, is the Vikings are in last place. So we've placed Sam Darnold the entire year, and we'll have one hell of a draft pick in 2025 and a lot of freaking cap space. Let's go. Let's go. That's the good news. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. Loved having you as usual.
Always a pleasure, Dave.
Can't wait till the draft, man. Can't wait till the draft.
Yeah, we got a first-round pick, finally. It's been like 3 years.
Hey, why not? Let's party.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.